I'm Margaret Ann Windsor. I want to see if this is going up. Yeah. I'm watching, this is Saturday night, the 15th of July, 2017. I'm watching Judge Janine on Fox. Pierre, sorry, I mispronounced her name. I'm just about out of it. Um, I'm immune to chemicals and toxic fumes, and that's what's been used on me for so long. That's just about killing me. Kept homeless. Anyway, I'm watching her tonight, and what I've been putting up on Facebook and YouTube, and someone gave me, help me with getting the phone to put up videos. I had started on Facebook in 2012. So I've put all this up, and I'm not going to go in and get photos to support what I'm saying. But tonight, Judge Janine had a gentleman on there, and maybe he said it a little bit better than I did in different words, but he went over a lot of the leaders that had been replaced by the United States. The Shah of Iran, well, he was killed by the United States also. I've said all this a long time ago. But in Iraq and Iran, they replace the leaders that don't do as they say do with someone who will follow their orders in their best interests of the United States. So this gentleman, I've forgotten his name, but he was talking sound real well respected and everything, knew what he was talking about, because I've been telling it, some of it. But anyway, what I wanted to say was I've told about my father, Edward VIII, and I think the saddest part is history has left him. It's a total lie. He didn't do as the Illuminati, the Freemasons, United States, and a few of the Brits, Sir Winston Churchill, etc. And part of my own family, the Windsor family, George the illegal sixth, Elizabeth's dad, replaced my father for the reason I've just told you. But I've been telling it for a while. And this gentleman, he didn't mention my dad. They didn't. But they mentioned all the others and made the statements I've said, that they'll replace leaders with someone who will do as they wish in their best interest of the United States, or the Illuminati, the global government. So that's what they did to my dad, and they did it with character assassination. I mean, it was a mass to take down my father effort, and they did it. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, and she was actually the Queen of England in 36, and still is, really, legally. My dad never married Wallace Simpson. That was a double or an impostor that married her and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor in 37. My father advocated, because he was forced to, so it was a forced abdication. They used the church even got in on it. The archbishop even got in on it, stating that my father married a commoner, and my mother the O'Keefes may have been Catholic. I don't know. I'm Protestant. But anyway, they used that as, and then they covered it up. Then it was they made this long thing about Wallace Simpson, and all of it was a lie. The pictures they took, supposedly of my father, was of the double. And all the antics that he did that were really horrifying, and it was stated that it was my dad doing it. My dad never had anything to do with a woman. It's so hideous. My father wouldn't do as they said to do, so the United States replaced him. Just like they were talking about tonight. You know what I've gotten for telling the people here in this country when I found out about my kidnapping? It's just been made worse. This country hates my guts because I'm British. My mom is an American, so that made me dual citizenship. I'm British. I'm English. and proud. I'm sad that you did this to my mom, to my dad, my country, to me, and to my babies, my children, who are heirs after me. And I guess I'm going to stop here because I put this up and I've laid it all out. The birth certificates they gave me, a Peggy Ann Dempsey in Moulton, Alabama, a twin. Both twins were dead. Isn't it strange? They covered it up. The death of the twins, Lina Dempsey, their mother, killed them. The family covered it up. It was a pigsty, and it was a horrible place to live. And like all the other crimes that have been committed against me personally here in this country, I was 2 years old when I was brought here in 41, and Victoria II, heir to the British Crown. And brought here the Kennedys, John Kennedy, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Roosevelt were in on my kidnapping. And none of the crimes have been charged or paid for. I saw the Jews tonight on a program that were stating that they still had a lot that they were going to sue the Germans for. What in the HE do you think? Only God can do it. And I've said that for a time now because this has been ongoing, what's been done to me. And I'm going to say this, and I'm in bad shape because my immune system attacks itself when I'm around chemicals or toxic fumes. I have an autoimmune disorder. It affects me, any fumes do if it's heavy enough on anybody. But they've made my life hell, especially since I came to Roanoke. By the way, I want to say here, I saw my mom one time after I was kidnapped, and it was here in Roanoke when I came here in October of '86. My mom and dad were still married then, and I know that for sure. They were older. They were 40. My mom was 40 when I was born, and my dad was 45. So they were still alive and still married to each other, and I saw her briefly. They let me see her briefly. Quite frankly, at first I thought it was Georgia, her sister, Georgia O'Keefe, my aunt. But anyway, I'm going to lose my train of thought here of what I was going to say. I have put all this up, and I've been kept homeless and run from place to place using chemicals. And I've said this about State Trooper Carl Barton. His wife told me back in 2009 that to never allow myself, well, if I could, to get fall and have broken bones and be put in a assisted living. And I know why. And he said this, because I can't run. He said, this is how we run you. And with chemicals, and I'd been saying that, but I mean, people are very aware of what's happening to me. I'll say this: I had a letter when I did the book in Atlanta, in Marietta, Georgia, Atlanta suburb, in March of 1978. Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, a few miles in about, about 40 or 60 miles, maybe. And he was shot during that time I was doing a book about mind control and being programmed. And the Virginia Tech, Jesse Matthews up here. And, I found out what people have done with it. You can't see mind control. I mean, MK Ultra, but different agencies use it. So they can murder and get away with it, just like Virginia Tech, Aurora, Colorado, James Holmes. He's not mentally ill. To give him psychotic drugs is the sickest thing you can think of. He's an innocent victim, too. So there's lists of them that can be proven. So what happens when I worked for the district attorney Simpson, as in Wallace Simpson was supposed to bury my dad, King Edward VIII, which was a lie. By the way, that's when Mark David Chapman shot John Lennon while I worked at the DA's office in Huntsville. And Jesse Ventura, the former governor of Minnesota, came on and made the same statement about Mark David Chapman being programmed to shoot him. But anyway, there's a list of them, and some of them can be proven, but the media is controlled by the very people that kidnapped me and took down my father, and they're not going to tell it. They've known it all these since I was kidnapped, and they knew about my dad being taken down. When I was thrown out on the street, and they tried to kill me more than once, and I've put that up here. I'm not going to say it again because I found out that in telling people, hoping they'll help, they'll come around and get you because I'm British. To hell with me. I'm a joke. I've been telling about mind control murders like Jesse Matthews or any of the others. James Holmes, but this goes way back. It was used on King Ferdinand, used on to program to shoot, like use it like in the Zorings next door here in Bedford. That was a program. He was an innocent person. But I can list a whole bunch of them, and some people that if you found out would really upset you, that can be proven that mind control was used to kill them. But anyway, I'm going to say this. I had a letter from the FBI back in June the 23rd, my dad's birthday, in 19, I'm in pain now from being so many fumes. The last place I lived on me here, Airport Plaza, I fell twice. It actually was so bad I hit the wall and fell on the tile and busted my rear and the bones up in it. And this happened twice, and I'm in bad pain now. I can hardly walk or get up. So anyway, I'm going to go back to, I had a letter from the FBI, and April Fool's Day of 80, I was almost killed. I've told it. I'm not going to tell it again because, quite frankly, I found out when I tell and hope someone will help, they'll turn around and use it on me because what's happened is the government or the FBI get things on people, law enforcement does, and in return for dropping charges or not prosecuting a person or a business, they will help in what is being done to me, which is illegal. They don't have a right to do that. They made my life a living hell. But anyway, I was also told that, I was put on the side of the road, things done to me that you can't imagine being done to a human being and to my children. And I was actually told more than once, which I know, but they made my word no good. People have let it happen here. But I was told at one point coming into Kingston, Tennessee years ago, that I was walking and hoping I didn't get raped or killed along the highway. And the police there in Kingston told me, they said, well, the FBI told us 3 months ahead before you were coming through, so we knew. So now then I end up, and I'm not going to tell what happened in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It was horrifying. I put it up. But I tried to press charges then, and the detective took me back there, and he said, he told me, he said that they actually come in and told them, the FBI did, that if they tried to help me, that they would investigate their police department and they would find something. But it's, in this, I'm going to go ahead and say it, and I've never said this before, but I've been told by people that I know told me the truth, that they did get the FBI to help Great Britain. The rest of the country didn't. They used the British, and they not only took down my father and installed their own monarch, like I've said, the one that would do their interests, the United States interests, which is illegal. Now then, you're against Russia because they, quote, were meddling in your affairs or elections. Well, who do you think kidnapped Anastasia, and she was up here and murdered at Blue Ridge Mental Health in 1984? That really was Anastasia. And next door to Stanton is the people. Woody Woodrow Wilson was the president. Isn't that odd? They put her back up there in Harrisonburg, in Charlottesville, Virginia, not far from me, by the way. And right next door was the president was born in Stanton, and he helped kill Tsar Nicholas, and Anastasia made it, but then they killed her anyway using the mental health, Blue Ridge. So I guess that what I want to say is, in all probability, if the FBI hadn't helped me here with all the other that's happened and been done, it's the American citizens that did it to me in cold blood. And that's all I can say. You'd have to see how they were compromised. They didn't have to do it. It was assault with intent. They've done everything in the book to me. And there's nobody, and I've said it, and I'll say it again, there's nobody that can prosecute this and bring about any justice for me and the British. And when I say me, I say my children, wherever they are, and I hope they're still alive. And for my mom and dad, who did the right things. And my dad, I would love to see his name restored to where it should be, other than the lies that were used to assassinate his character and make his life a living hell. And God save the Queen, the real one, and that's me.